Hey there. So before I, actually start reviewing, it's on my left. Uh, before I start reviewing, I need to have some history first. Where do we begin? I guess back when I was in college and I played on a Game Boy Advance emulator. I discovered this game called Demi Kids, and I wasn't a fan of the game at first. In fact, I might try the game again sometime in the future because I was not really clear on how the mechanics of Demi Kids work. It's like, oh, it just looks like another Pokemon clone. But during that first time I played Demi Kids, I decided, I'm gonna try looking up the Demi Kids bestiary, see what kind of monsters appear in this series, or at least in Demi Kids. And from there, I discovered the Megami Tensei wiki. In fact, that's how I discovered the Shin Megami Tensei series in general. It's also how I discovered the Persona games and all these other games in the Megami Tensei series. I think like 2009 to 2010, I played I truly played my first Megami Tensei game all the way through, which would be Persona 3 on the PlayStation 2, and I bought it back in GameStop, when GameStop had PlayStation 2 games back in 2009 to 2010. And then from there, I played, Persona 4, an English translation of the first Shin Megami Tensei game. I played Shin Megami Tensei 2 and such. I was, very familiar with the Shin Megami Tensei games, and I became a fan of the series. So in 2013, there was an announcement of a crossover between Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem. And at the time, I never played a Fire Emblem game. So I decided to download the Fire Emblem game and play it on my Game Boy Advance emulator. And I did not like that game. For starters, if you lose a character in battle, you permanently lose them for the rest of the game. I'm like, oh, great, that's gonna pressure me not to lose any characters. And I know I could just always create a save state before the battle, and if I lose a character, I could just reload the save state. But I don't want to go for the hassle. And also, after playing this PlayStation 2 strategy game called Deus Ex or something, I realized I'm an idiot when it comes to strategy games. When it comes to turn-based, I don't mind, but when it comes to tactical strategy RPGs, I'm an idiot. I mean, if it has come to the point where game reviews this strategy tactical RPG is pretty easy, and I can't even beat the first boss, I guess I'm a retard when it comes to tactical RPGs. So because of it, I never became a fan of Fire Emblem. But I was I would give the Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover a chance, just because I do like the Shin Megami Tensei series. And then, what the crossover turned into Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and we saw the first trailer of that. And it was the farthest thing from a Shin Megami Tensei game. I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this is not Shin Megami Tensei. This must be Fire Emblem. And I bet all the Fire Emblem fans this is not Fire Emblem. This must be Shin Megami Tensei. It's neither, I guess. And I guess I didn't want to touch the game. I didn't even have a Wii U either, so even if there came a time if I did get a Wii U, I'm not gonna pick up this game. I'm not gonna pick up Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And it wasn't until 2019 and I saw the Nintendo Direct. We're okay, we're porting Tokyo Mirage Sessions on the Switch. I guess like a few years have gone by since it was released on the Wii U. So I was thinking, well, I have a Switch. It is an RPG. I guess I could just give it a chance, and here it is, right here. So, I have seen, before I even picked up the game, I have seen some gameplay. It's like the game side, like the game mechanics are more based on Persona than Shin Megami Tensei. Like they do have spells on Shin Megami Tensei. Like it's more leaning towards the Shin Megami Tensei series than it is Fire Emblem. There's no tactics or strategy. It's not a tactical RPG. It's turn-based, so it's more leaning towards Shin. And I guess the closest to Fire Emblem references are some of the characters in the game. And you do have like these spells, which are spells in the Shin Megami Tensei series, like the electric spell Zio, the ice spell Bufu, the stat, the attack increasing stat Harukaja, or something like that. Harukaja, yeah, there we go. So here's what Tokyo Mirage Sessions is about. You play this teenager named it's Tui. Well, he's just this normal kid, this normal high school kid, and he's friends with a girl named Tsubasa. Tsubasa is obsessed with this pop star named Kiria. And they went to this, this like show that's like a model show. It's more like it's like a contest, like a pageant, pretty much. I was just trying to think of the right word. It's a pageant, and Tsubasa enters it, and she reveals how like pretty much in this introduction in the game, like there was this concert 5 years prior where pretty much everyone disappeared except for her. She was the only person who survived this vanishing. And among her victims was Tsubasa's older sister, who was an actress in the show. So Tsubasa was like the only person to survive this show. I mean, to survive this incident, pretty much. So like 5 years have gone by throughout this pageant, and this guy hosting this pageant is like, I could show you your sister, and pretty much teleports Tsubasa and all these, models over to this alternate world where the main character goes in and enters it. It's like the first dungeon in the game. And we are introduced to these game mechanics where, like, you have these shadowy things going on, and you beat them, and you get these persona-like things called mirages, which are based on Fire Emblem characters. Like, the main character's mirage is Chrom, which now I'm wondering why it's not a spirit battle, like fighting against the Chrom version of from Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Tokyo, as Chrom as a fighter. In fact, there's like a lack of Tokyo Mirage Sessions spirits in Smash Ultimate. So you get these mirages, and you go into these alternate universes where you fight these bosses that are like they're I don't know, like they're corrupted version of people related to the entertainment world. Like there's this guy who's a corrupted version of a photographer, a corrupted version of a director. The dungeons are pretty much the corrupted versions of the entertainment industry. And over a period of time, like you get more and more party members, and the party members are pretty much pop stars, actors, actresses, like all that. They're pretty much celebrities. Like I've played RPGs where you have a party member that's like a pop star. And the whole purpose of this, class in RPGs is that just for entertainment purposes. They don't have like the highest stats or anything. They're just for entertainment purposes. I've seen in a demo for Metopia, which I need to get around to playing that RPG. I've seen in Dragon Quest IX on the DS, like the pop star class in RPGs is basically the joke class. So here in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, imagine every single party member is the pop star class, where they pretty much make an entertainment just from battling. So, like, pretty early in the game, you learn something called sessions, where if you hit an enemy's weaknesses, the party members would do a follow-up attack. Like, you hit a weakness, follow-up attack, follow-up attack. And when you get more party members and you do, like, a side quest, or, like... No, wait. Well, you unlock something that makes it so the other party members can do a follow-up attack without actually being in the main party. You can start out with, like, just, like, two characters doing a party, two characters doing follow-up attacks, to having the entire cast doing follow-up attacks in, like, later dungeons in the game. Like, I remember getting into a battle, I did one attack, and pretty much destroyed every single enemy with sessions, and just from this one attack, like, boom, battle's already over. And I just remember, like, wow, this is broken. And I think they balanced it out. When you're, like, later in the game and the enemies start having this buttload of HP, so it takes a while just to whittle them down, so that session doesn't take them out and just from one attack. As well as the bosses, like, the bosses have this bulky amount of HP, so that way sessions don't take them out in just a short period of time. In fact, I think there have been times where I've level grinded to the point like, okay, there has to be no way I can lose the next boss battle. And you have these like side quests that you can do with your other party members who are like pop stars. Like they're facing some sort of dilemma. Like, I have to perform this song in a certain way, but I don't have to do that. You spend time with them. They have an epiphany and battle and something. I'm like, okay, I think I know what to do. There's this cutscene where they perform the song, and it carries over to a battle as this like special attack. And something on my glasses bothering me. And sometimes, when you complete side quests, and it's, this carries over to, the battle. Like you could have a character like normally this one character, Kiria, should do an ice attack, but sometimes she'll perform her song Labyrinth, and it'll do like extra damage whenever she does an ice attack. Or Tsubasa, like whenever she does her spear attack, sometimes randomly she'll just, perform this soda commercial that she did, and she'll just recreate it and do the spear attack following after it, like, or like this one actress, she did this love scene in a TV show she did, so she'll recreate like a few lines from that love scene, and then finish off with like this bow and arrow, like the arrow with a heart on it, and it'll hit all enemies and cause them charm. So there's a rare chance for the attack. It's like this game knows how to make battles entertaining, and I never got tired of it. And there'll be times like much later in the game, like past the halfway mark, you unlock dual attacks or dual acts, what they're called, where you complete a side quest and like involving two characters, and two characters will just do this, this big attack that does great damage, and sometimes they'll heal the party when you know, it's like you hit weakness of an enemy, you get into the session, which is a follow-up attacks, and you get this prompt where like, do you want to do a dual act with these two characters? And they'll give sometimes like if you unlock more dual acts, you get you get more than one option. You could either press the left left trigger on a controller or the right you know the left right button. Sometimes you hit the left one or the right one, and it just it'll activate the it'll activate the dual act, and you have to do it at before a certain period of time, or else it won't activate. But like once you activate it, it does this big attack on the enemy, and doing it in a normal battle, it just seemed broken. And sometimes when after the dual act, the game would also just continue with the sections. More follow-up attacks, more follow-up attacks, more follow-up attacks. This would be really useful against a boss. Like there was like one boss I was having a hard time with. I unlocked dual act, and I seen it for the first time in a battle. I'm like, you know, you have the sessions, follow-up attacks, the dual act, and then it does the sessions again, more follow-up attacks on the enemy. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this to regular enemies. There's absolutely no way I can lose to a freaking boss now if I'm this broken at this point. Now, I wasn't playing on the easy difficulty. I was actually playing on normal difficulty, just to have some sort of a challenge. Like, I don't want to, like, God, I'm trying to imagine if I did play this game on easy. I'm like, it would probably be the easiest game where I'm like, man, I should have played this game on a hard difficulty. No, I played on normal, and I did get a game over a certain number of times because I did find it a bit difficult. Because like the fact that enemies in later dungeons and the bosses, they were designed with with the follow up attacks and the dual attacks, and the special moves that happen on occasion when you do some normal attack. They were they were balanced out. Maybe it's just me. So that so that was big about the gameplay and such. In fact, I thought this game was just so entertaining. I thought Tokyo Mirage Sessions was just so entertaining. Part of me is actually disappointed. I am actually disappointed that there's no post game. Like I've played RPGs where I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting through it, and I stop playing as soon as I get to the credits. Like games that even have post game. Like I got to the credits and I stopped playing that RPG, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like doing post. I don't feel like doing post game because I don't like the game that much, and it's very rare that I have games that I actually do want to keep playing after I get to the credits. Like I'm still working on the post game for Dragon Quest XI, where right now I'm just level grinding just so I can beat the final boss. You know, so there are very few games where I'm doing post game for RPGs, but a great majority of the time, I've I know there's moments where like I don't like this RPG. I'm not gonna bother doing I don't like the RPG that much. I don't like the RPG that much to do the post game. Like Nostalgia on the DS. Like that game had post game, but I didn't do it because I didn't like the game that much. But Tokyo Mirage Sessions, that is a game that I was actually legitimately disappointed that there's no post game because I wanted to do more. And maybe it's just me. So the game was pretty enjoyable, even though it did feel broken at times. And I do find the story entertaining. And here's the thing about the story, especially towards the end, it has like this end of the world thing coming to it, like in other Shin Megami Tensei games and Persona games. But I didn't find the threat towards the end of the game that threatening, especially compared to the Persona series and the Shin Megami Tensei games. Like you look at Persona 3, at night for 1 hour in a game, not 1 hour a game, but 1 hour of the day within the game storyline, you have people going into coffins, and for those who didn't go into coffins and were caught in the middle of dark hour, they ended up like these zombies that seen some shit like, oh, and they've seen the future, like they've seen the incoming doom in their vegetative state. The doom is coming in, and you've seen what happens during the dark hour. Like, okay, there's something menacing about the dark hour. There's something menacing about the incoming doom. Like, there's this uneasiness, and the fact that the whole world is aware of the upcoming doom. Like, there is this unsettling presence. In Persona 4, towards the end of the game, you get this world surrounded by some fog that has this toxic feel to it, and people are wearing, masks, and it's like people have this like unsettling feeling about this toxic air that's going around. Like in Persona 4, you felt the end of the world feeling to it. You felt in Persona 3, you felt in Persona 4. In this game, they do have this plot like, oh, there's this giant dragon that's going to cause the end of the world. And only the main characters know about the upcoming doom, but the people, they're not phased by it. They don't see some unsettling presence like the people in Persona 3 and 4 do. They're just thinking like, oh, it's just a normal day. I'm like, yeah, it also it's kind of just a dragon too. Like, it doesn't seem that threatening. I mean, sure, game story when it was like focusing on people in the entertainment business and just makes it get the game's just entertaining. But like that's the story, especially towards the end. I'm like, yeah, I wish it was a bit stronger. I wish the doom was a bit stronger. That's all. And then the music. I have to get around to the music because the music in this game is pretty catchy. Like, yeah, when you have main characters who are pop stars, of course you're gonna get pop music. And I know that people are gonna point the fingers at the Persona series because the Persona series, especially Persona 3 and onwards, it's pop music thing. That's something you don't realize in Shin Megami Tensei main series. But when you have a game where the main characters are pop stars, of course I guess it would make sense that they would sing pop music, and it does play a role in the side quest, and it would just carry over to the battle. Like I think, like I mentioned earlier, like when the character named Kiria, she performs a song called Labyrinth at the end of a side quest, and then she brings it over to the battle when she performs sometimes when she performs a nice attack and she performs that song Labyrinth. It just those pop songs that they added to the battles, like it's just downright entertaining. Like when Kiria and Tsubasa would perform the song "Give Me" and just do this big attack on enemies, of like Tsubasa and Eleonora, they'll perform the song "Dreamcatcher." In fact, sometimes I will just play these. I've downloaded the soundtrack for Cloak and Mirage Sessions, especially the Switch version, which includes a new song called "She Is." I'll just listen to these songs just for the fun of it. I actually really enjoy the soundtrack for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. In fact, I've actually liked this game entirely. Will I say it's in my top 10? Probably not. But I do like it more than most RPGs I've played. And I wish there was a post game because I really enjoyed the game. What else? I mean, are there any people who also like this game? Because I have viewed some, stuff related to Tokyo Mirage Sessions when I was going online, and I have read comments from people who didn't like the game. Like, I've played worse. I've played worse. But this one, the Switch port of Tokyo Mirage Sessions is definitely it's definitely my favorite games released this year. Of course, I guess the feeling it's gonna be the only game that's released this year I've played because I do have this New Year's resolution not to purchase games over $40, and the only reason I bought this game is because my sister and brother-in-law gave me a GameStop gift card for Christmas last year, and I need to use it as soon as possible before GameStop goes out of freaking business. In fact, I did last year when I bought Dragon Quest XI, also for the Switch. I used a GameStop card for that one too. So yeah, I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions is probably gonna be the only game I bought this year that's gonna cost like $60. I'm not gonna go over $40 because that's my New Year's resolution, and I don't want to go over that. I want to dedicate myself to just not spending over $40. So chances are that's gonna be my only Switch game this year, and I'm just gonna buy games from older systems for the time being. So maybe my next game review is gonna be an older game. So this is gonna be like the only news game for a while. So I'm gonna grab this mouse here, and I'm gonna call it right now. It's almost 30 minutes. This is a big review, but for anyone out there, please subscribe. I would like some subscribers. I'm trying to get this channel going, and I want people out there to have a nice day. Like this, okay, Handchester. Have a nice day.